All right, it looks like we are live. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the second webinar about the Altoona Junior High School Freshman Academy that is starting in the 2014 school year. My name is Mr. Klingman, and this is...
I'm Mrs. Brown, and we're live from Panera.
We're at Panera right now because we want to show everyone that...
Taking learning on the road.
Yes, literally. You could be learning everywhere, even at Panera. So we're going to get started today. We're going to shorten the presentation a little bit today since everyone hopefully has seen the regular presentation, which again is available to you on the website already from the last time that we were here. And then also this will be available for you as well once we are done tonight. So hopefully if there are any questions people have, we can post them as we go, and we will get to them. Please remember that there is a delay, so by the time that we get your question, it may be a little bit later. So we ask that you post your questions sooner than later, and you can do that by on the right-hand side there. If you're not logged into your Google account and you're watching live from YouTube, unfortunately you just have to watch, but the instructions on how to join via Google are available to you. So we're going to go ahead and get started. There is one little special thing that we're going to be talking about today. Parents and students have been learners have been very curious about the grading of the coursework as well as with the seminars. So what we've done is added
spent a lot of time talking about it.
And came up with a presentation that Mrs. Brown's going to be talking to you about here in a little bit. That will come before the question and answer period. So again, if you have any other questions, please feel free to post them on the question site, and we're going to go ahead and get started with the regular presentation. So give us just a second to do a screen share if I remember how to do this, and we'll get started. Okay. All right, everyone. So I'm going to get started here, and again, for those of you that haven't heard about the Academy, there's our little logo, and we're really excited about, hopefully everyone is ready for it, and the exciting stuff. We start off with this quote, you know, education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire. And, you know, for so long now, we've been thinking about what we actually do as teachers, and what are we really doing? We're just making students really good test takers and filling them with some information, and then what happens with it? It falls out, it drains out, it's ruined. We don't really know anymore.
So we thought maybe this would be a chance to maybe ignite the fire in students and turn them into lifelong learners, and we need the time to do that. So that's the whole idea behind this Academy, is creating some flexible learning time where we can make that happen.
Absolutely. So again, today's school model is the same as it was in the 1800s, and we honestly don't know why that it's lasted this long with everything else that's changed. The same desks, the same chairs, textbooks, schedules, textbooks, lectures, it's all the same. But, you know, students are learners of the 21st century. You know, they're using technology in the 21st century, they are living the 21st century, so why aren't we treating them more this way? You know, focusing on technology, flexible learning space, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math projects. What are we waiting for?
It basically turned into a flipped classroom, and we're looking at taking the lessons and maybe delivering them online outside of the school day, so we open up that learning time within the classroom where we can start to concentrate on technology and real-life applications of the curriculum.
So we're not going to show the video because the video is available to the website. So you're more than welcome to take a look at that onto the website, which is ahahsmcl.weebly.com, and you click on to learn. This video is there. It's just a brief introduction and a quick summary of the project. For those of you that have already seen it, we're going to skip ahead. But for those of you that have not, this would, at the end of the presentation, be a great time to check it out.
So why should your learner apply for the Academy? Well, it is a pilot program. We are learning, so this is a project for us too, but we're trying to create an environment for learners so that they embrace lifelong learning. They'll embrace technology, and we'll get to see practical application of all the curriculum, and it will empower our learners to be successful in this rapidly changing world that we live in.
So in its basic form, what's the Academy consist of? Well, it's 140 minutes a day, and we're looking at the 9th grade schedule because we're only offering this right now as a pilot program to 9th graders. So it would be scrunched up between 9th grade lunch, so it would be 6th to 7th grade after, and the students would have that entire period of the day to work on what we call seminar work. There also is time for curriculum work and time for job shadowing and projects and interviewing.
It's flexible.
It's very, very flexible. And within that time and within the Academy seminar period will also be opportunity for students to get enrichment, assessment, and assistance with their honors Honors Algebra 2, Honors Math class, and the
Right.
Honors English 9 class. What's really cool about the curriculum this year, or for next year, is that we're going to be taking it on a complete virtual learning environment, meaning that students will be working on the curriculum at their own time and at their own pace, which is really, really cool. Research tells us that over 60% of what we learn in school can be learned on the computer, if not even better than what we learn.
The same, if not better, than what we do in the classroom.
Yeah, so we feel like that 60% of time is a lot that we're wasting. And we want to try to find opportunities to, bridge learning and give practical experience to what we're doing in class, especially in two courses such as math and English, because they're normally so disconnected.
Right.
With the Academy, you also have opportunities for independent learning, small group learning, large group learning. It's completely flexible. So if learners are more, better accustomed to working with 2 or 3 other students or other learners on a topic, they may have the opportunity to do that. It's complete flexibility. The Academy also offers, we're going to be piloting BYOD, means bring your own device. So students with iPads and services and smartphones are going to be able to use them within the Academy period.
Right, and it's not intended to have your qualification for the Academy is not to have these devices, but they will have the opportunity to bring their own, and we'll use them in educational ways.
Absolutely.
They're not just for social media.
Right.
They can be used for lots of other things.
And the cool thing is that, again, research tells us that BYOD is, even though it's scary to some, because of what you can think of, what can happen, it's really very successful. A lot of local schools and around the country have very successful programs with that. Probably the most important portion of the Academy, for students that is the opportunity to earn an extra academic credit. So all the 9th grade students next year will be earning 8 credits if they pass all their classes, but the Academy students will actually be earning 9, so they'll have an extra credit, and will also be at the honors level. So for students who are concerned about GPA and rank, this is going to be an opportunity for them.
Right.
Within the Academy, we also have opportunities for community service, projects, field trips, and a focus on the career. And there'll be at least 2 learning facilitators, also known as their teachers, with them during the seminar period every day.
And the seminar component is, I guess, the newest part of this. We said that they're going to be receiving 3 credits, 1 for math, 1 for English, and then 1 for the seminar. And the seminar is a time that we'll be bridging the English and the Algebra 2 or geometry curriculum if your child is advanced a year in math. So we'll have time to see real-world applications, do some projects and activities related to coursework, and it'll be an opportunity to explore career possibilities. They can see, maybe take the time to visit with people who might be working in their intended field and ask them questions and get lots of advice. In the seminar, one of the big seminar components is going to be built in the what we're calling the AASV, Unlimited Learning Spheres of Life. These are the areas which students will be living and working and raising families. So why not take the time to help them develop competencies in these areas? So there are some samples, or there's all 8 of our learning spheres, and you can see how relative they are to the world today. We thought students should be able to learn a little bit about those things, so that when they leave high school, they have an idea how to function in the 21st century world we live in.
No, okay, sorry. All right, so the really cool part of the seminar is the basis of inquiry learning projects, which we will call ILPs. And all of the projects that the students are going to be creating, first off, they're creating.
Right.
Well, they're going to be doing that, so we're excited about that. But the cool part is during the seminar, students will use that time to check out their natural passion, inquiry, and etc., and build these projects around these spheres of life. And the cool thing is we're looking to have all of these projects built on a STEAM foundation: science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, to help answer those burning questions that the kids have.
Answer their inquiries.
So there are several benefits to the learner that we just want to talk a little bit about here. First off, again, personal learning needs are met exclusively during the Academy seminar period and beyond, so it's really nice that if you have students who are moving at a very fast rate, we don't have to worry about, maybe a smaller group.
Yeah, keeping pace with a group. That won't happen anymore.
Yeah, so for example, Mrs. Brown and I were talking earlier, it's one of those things where you may have 5 or 6 kids who are really struggling on a topic, and based on the virtual curriculum online, we can be notified of that information, and we can actually use some of the seminar time to reteach, reassess, and do these extra tutoring opportunities for these students.
But then conversely, students who are moving ahead can not be held back by the entire class, and they can move on
to pace. It's really cool for that. Again, the opportunity to learn at the optimum pace, so again, we're not holding back any learner. The chance to advance as far as time and motivation will allow. I mean, there's actually an opportunity for students to finish their courses, a little bit early. Yeah, that's really neat. The elimination of fear and failure and boredom when learners determine what and how they learn. And finally, learning opportunities occur in several formats. We're finally moving from learning-based lectures to learning with interaction, involvement, and true relevance and practical application in the students' lives.
Some more benefits. I mean, STEAM, the STEAM component, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, is huge for 21st century workers. They're looking for those opportunities. So we thought that this would be a chance to bring them into the courses and see how they can be a part of English and math curriculum. They're going to learn. They're going to see some real-world learning from real people who are working in the industries. Hopefully, maybe we can get some of the parents involved in their careers, and they can offer their advice and their suggestions and their expertise. Maybe we'll go. You had the example of going out possibly if a student wanted to own a restaurant one day, reaching out to the community members and see if we can find someone who'd be willing to come in and mentor and discuss and talk about their preparation for the field and what all is involved.
And then you can also use that seminar time to move off into the restaurant for a week. Maybe the learner actually goes and works in the restaurant and creates an independent learning or an inquiry learning project that is all about that future career. That opportunity is included in this.
And Skyping.
And Skyping and Google Hanging Out and YouTube, just like we're doing right now.
Exactly. And of course then the additional credit of coursework at an honors level is also essential.
So, but most importantly, what we're trying to do here is to become a lifelong, well-rounded, innovative thinking, curiosity-chasing, self-motivated learner of the 21st century. For a long time, teachers have been frustrated with, all of the requirements and the box that public education puts us all in. However, we're trying to focus on the student now, focus on the learner, and to make them the #1 focus of public education.
Employers in the 21st century don't want students who just know how to take tests, or they have to be told what chapter to read in book. They want innovative problem solvers.
So, in order for students to be a part of the academy, for learners, there's a pledge that they're going to take, and obviously they're going to have to be motivated to work independently and outside the regular school day. Maybe it's coming in at 7:15 and working in the computer labs before school to work on some stuff. Maybe it's staying after a little bit.
Time management will be essential to doing well in this academy.
It's really nice too because all of the curriculum will be available on the web, whether it's on a laptop or an iPad or a smartphone. So you could literally be on the bus on the way home doing your math and English lessons for the day.
Or a sporting event on the way home or on the way to, instead of taking that time and sitting there. You could be productive.
And think about vacations as well. There's no longer the time saying, what am I going to miss at school? Your learning is all, your own path of learning is for you.
It's portable.
Completely portable. That's a good way to put it. There will be weekly, monthly, quarterly learning goals and benchmarks to make sure that we are moving at the right pace, at least for this first time, till we get everyone settled.
And we'll be setting them just so we make sure kids are staying on pace. Can they move ahead? Sure. If they get behind, that's what we're there for as facilitators.
Some other things that are a part of the academy is community service, opportunities both outside the academy time and inside the academy time as well. Learners must participate in at least one extracurricular activity, whether it's karate in the evening or drama club or an athletic event or something like that.
It doesn't have to necessarily be involved with Altoona area junior high. It could be music lessons they take outside.
Yeah, we're trying to build well-rounded 20th century learners. Learners have to have met proficiency on the 7th and 8th grade PSSAs and, of course, know what technology is and have a basic understanding of how to use it. So the learning facilitators that have been building this program, Mrs. Brown, who is with me today, is going to be our mathematics learning facilitator. Myself, there's a possibility that I will be one of the English learning facilitators next year. Ms. Kathy Morgan, who is currently a 7th grade reading teacher, is also one of our English learning facilitators. And we do have an exceptional learning coach, Mrs. Christy Klausman, who has been working with us to help us work in the special education needs, learning needs, gifted IEP needs, all of those things that are really what we're trying to do is be able to focus around those areas. So we're really excited about.
The four of us have the vision. We're excited about this program. We all share this vision that we want this authentic learning opportunity for our students.
Yeah, and that exceptional learning coach is something that's very, very important to us, because not only are we going to be able to call on Mrs. Costin's expertise for looking at those who are struggling and those who are exceeding, but it's going to be able to help keep us all together. So it's a really cool team.
And the differentiation that needs to occur.
It's a really cool team. So for more information, there's the website again. It's ahhsmcl.weebly.com. It is available 24/7 to you, and we do update it once in a while with certain things. So we ask that you keep checking back. This is also where the Academy will be able to apply for admission to the Academy. So we're going to switch off now. I'll just take a real quick tour of the website.
Lots of details on here.
Yes, lots of details. So I'm just going to go straight to the home page, and going down here to see a basic understanding. There's a lot of other resources and understanding and research that's
the tweets at the
yeah,
top.
we have our own Twitter right now and some different trends and things in technology. Our mission, why we're doing this, how we're doing this, and what we're actually doing is all listed on here. Included in here is more information about the exceptional learning needs. We're going to talk briefly about some of these other things here in just a second.
And a lot of these have come from questions that
parents and
parents
learners
have
are
asked,
giving us.
that other teachers have asked us, that administration has asked us. So we were trying to answer some of those by putting these different tabs in there.
The bridge component we're going to talk about in a little bit when it comes to grading. Our long-term plans are available for you to check out as well. And then applying and maintaining membership. What we're probably going to do is tomorrow morning we're going to be turning on the application so that those who are interested can start applying already. We do have a parent meeting tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock at the Altoona Junior High School auditorium. For those of you who are not watching live right now, I guess they wouldn't be
listening.
Right now, would they? But if you know anyone.
Yeah, or you'd like to come and ask questions face to face.
Please feel free. So we have the requirements and the maintaining, and then you will see at the top there is the apply button, which is where everyone will be applying, and you will see that will turn on tomorrow. And it is a couple pages, and there are some needs in there, including some responses such as why you're joining the academy, why you want to be in the academy. So the learner and the parent should fill this out together. This is not something that should be done independently.
And they should, and the learner should take some time to think about their responses before typing it.
Absolutely. Deadline is 1 week, so we have the application open for 1 week, and we will be emailing parents and learners decisions of who's been accepted to the academy on June 13th.
How about the way we're going to do that? We didn't really explain that.
We probably should.
Yeah, if we, based on the student response, it seems like we will have more than 40 applicants. So
and we're capping it at 40 for this first year.
Right. I mean, that's all we really have room for.
Right. Correct.
So if there are more than 40 qualified applicants, they will be chosen based on a lottery system.
Absolutely.
Like the way, isn't that the way elementary does it? Qualified does it.
And the one thing to remember too is that with the application process is we're not just looking at GPA, we're not just looking at participation extracurriculars, test scores, etc. We're looking at whole,
it's a holistic
grading approach.
But we're worried, but not worried, but we're also it's crucial that the student understand the time management and the commitment to this.
Absolutely, it is going to be a time commitment, both in and outside of school. But again, it's good work. If not good, it's even better work. So the one part we're going to spend a little bit of time on now is we will talk about the family partnership, and then we're going to get into the grading, which will lead us into the bridge component, and then we'll be ready to roll here. So, Mrs. Brown, I'll let you talk about the support for the learners.
We're a team, the facilitators, the school, and the parents, definitely. So we want the parents, to be involved as much as possible. We want them to be not able to be. We want communication and collaboration to happen in this academy. So we do have high expectations, and we hope that parents are sharing our expectations and promoting lifelong learning with us, and we hope that you will be a resource for us. If we need somebody in your profession with that expertise, if you're willing to come in and share or be a guest speaker, or maybe offer your workplace as another learning environment for our students, those are things that we're hoping that you're willing to share with us and offer. There will be possibly meetings, and we're hoping that you're able to attend them so we can keep that communication and collaboration open, because we think it's essential for the success of this academy and for your learner.
Yeah, and we want everyone's opinions. We want everyone to help us build this, which has been great. Our administration has been so forward with us in terms of allowing us to keep building this.
They've been very supportive, and with that support, the parents have to support, be
Absolutely.
supportive also, and we want your input so we can help this project grow.
Absolutely. Before we get into the grading, which will be the last thing we talk about tonight, I did want to just briefly talk about the bridge component, which is going to be one portion of the seminar grading. The bridge component was developed by Mrs. Brown and myself to better help learners get into the community and use their knowledge to do more than just pass a test.
Right, to show.
To show, yeah.
Show their knowledge.
And we point you to this quote here. It's a Chinese proverb. Tell me and I will forget. Show me and I will remember. Involve me and I will understand. Well, I'm really proud of Altoona Junior High School and a lot of the things that our students do and that our teachers do now. And there's certainly a lot of showing and a lot of involving. But the cool thing about our bridge component is that we step back and I will act. That's what the bridge component is all built upon. So bridge stands for Building Relationships Through Interdisciplinary Global Education. And as we continue to operate the Academy next year, we're hoping to better literally bridge elementary instruction with the junior high school instruction, and junior high school instruction with the high school instruction, and again, elementary instruction with high school instruction. And that's what's really cool, is that the opportunities for our learners to be able to be involved in this bridge program is going to be
to demonstrate their knowledge.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Demonstrate rather than just take a test.
Right. So just as a sample, we have some sample bridge lessons, and this will begin a part of the grading, which we'll talk about a little bit more. But for example, maybe we're studying Romeo and Juliet in English class, and we're talking about Elizabethan weaponry. And some of the weaponry in Elizabethan time before even, one is known as catapult, but which is really cool because there's a lot of science and technology behind a catapult in math.
Engineering.
So we
art.
Come up with an opportunity to teach a lesson to the students about the quadratic formula and the building of catapults and English weaponry. And the students would then, the learners would then take those lessons and move them into lessons that would be understandable for younger students in elementary STEAM schools.
Right.
And then those students and learners would then work together to build the actual catapults. And then finally, the junior high school academy students would then be going back into the elementary schools and helping those little learners build their own on a mini scale. So we're taking the junior high school students and making them become, teachers themselves.
Yes, and you can see all of the STEAM components that would be involved in this lesson.
Absolutely.
It's just naturally occurring and fitting.
Mm-hmm. There's another one down here. We're focused on the arts, and you can read about those on your leisure. But again, we truly believe to be competitive in this glowing global market, our learners can't simply just show their learning on paper and pencils. You got to be able to show it, share it, and involve experiences with others in the community. So when you start to bridge elementary, middle, and junior high school and senior high school together, we're producing real, authentic learning outcomes and building team building skills and inquiry learning. I mean, it's just a
and
really
what great
cool
models
process.
for the younger students to see, for the elementary to see the junior high kids learn. It's just a great cycle. It's a great cycle of learning.
And not only that, but then we start to prepare our elementary students for success in the junior high school, and in a model similar that we hope to continue to expand. I know that's been one of the questions. It's just going to be not great. For right now, our pilot is, but we are looking to expand this into the entire school, if not the entire district.
Right, and it's in our long-term plans. We would like to look at what we're thinking about.
So now we're going to go into academy grading. This has again been a big question from several people, so we wanted to kind of spend some time to go over this to make sure that everyone is aware of how that works. So Ms. Brown's going to be talking a little bit about this now.
Okay, so for being involved in the academy, the students are basically going to see 3 credits on their report card. So they're going to have their honors English, their honors math, their algebra 2 or geometry, and then this seminar course. And of course, they're all at the honors level. So just the math and the English, of course, are just going to be basically, even though it is virtual, so the online curriculum is what they're going to be utilizing. The grading pretty much is traditional. They're going to see quizzes and tests. They're going to see some written responses and essays, virtual, possibly done in class, and there could be some small projects that will be involved. But it's mostly traditional grading. Now, we're basically saying the seminar is divided into 4 components. Now, so we have the math, we have the English, and now this is the seminar course. We're thinking that this is the way we thought of how to break this up. The capstone career project will be 25% of the grade. The bridge projects will be 25%. The inquiry projects will be 40%. And then the seminar learning, which we'll talk about at the end, is about 10%. We'll start with the capstone project. This is basically a chance for students to explore what they might want to do with their life. So this is going to involve just meeting deadlines. I think that's what we said.
Yeah.
They're going to have a chance to explore and do some research, maybe talk to some people in the field. But you'll see, we'll go to the next slide, so just so you can see some samples.
Sure.
So they would get graded based on if they're meeting those deadlines. So it's very easy to get 100% as long as you're meeting the deadlines. Now, points will be deducted if they're not. But as facilitators, we'll be working with them to make sure they stay on target and stay on pace. But that's just a sample of what we're looking at. If you notice, by the end of the year, we're going to have a presentation of what they've learned about their future careers.
And it's going to be, I think, a really cool vision for this is, we fill our entire gym with all 40 students and all of their presentations and parents.
Maybe their mentors.
Mentors and, people that come in from the community to check out what these 9th graders have researched and learned through this entire process. So, and I think some of the students are concerned about work. Yes, there's work involved in this, but when you take a look at one of the main components in the capstone is spread out over the entire 9-month school year, it doesn't look nearly as bad.
And you're going to be having, there's going to be time during the school day where you're working with people who want to help you and keep you on track and keep you on pace and help you find resources.
And a lot of the learners in 8th grade have been asking us, saying, well, when am I going to have time to do all this work? Remember, there's 140 minutes every day that is devoted to working on these seminar projects, getting extra help. The opportunity to still do some of the curriculum stuff in the classroom is still there. And like I said, the students can also choose to eat lunch within the academy rather than go down and eat with their friends or go down and eat with their friends. That's another 35 plus minutes where we have time to not have to do things at home.
And the time management is part of this too. They have to balance out their other courses, their extracurriculars, their social life within this.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, the Bridge Project, we talked just a little briefly about that is going to be part of it. The Academy learners are going to work to complete 4 projects, 1 per marking period, again, founded in STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. And the learning facilitators will be creating these projects based on what's being taught. And obviously, every marking period it's going to be something different. Every school year it will be something different. But again, the cool part is that we want to move the older students, learners, into the elementary schools and really help to show their learning, not just regurgitated on a test.
Sure.
Grading for the Bridge projects is going to be done rubric-based, and learning facilitators are going to work in individuals, small groups, large groups to create these grading rubrics. So again, when we decide a project, we will sit down with the entire academy. We will say, okay, this is what's going to be expected from each group, et cetera, et cetera. And again, students are going to be going through that entire inquiry-based process where they're proposing a question, they're researching their question, looking at their outcomes, looking at the evidence, and then reflecting. And that is going to be all part of that grading.
And reflection is part of lifelong learning.
Absolutely. And the other thing that we want to remind you, too, is not all of these projects, when we keep saying all these projects, this is not all independent work. There's going to be a lot of opportunity for students to be sharing this work. Maybe the student has no interest in working with someone. Well, that opportunity is there as well. It's completely flexible.
And I'm envisioning these bridge projects being group projects.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely.
I don't think these ones will be individual. I mean, obviously the career ones will be individualized, but I picture this being teamwork.
Absolutely. We want the
collaboration.
We want the academy to keep building on its team component that we have.
The third component of the seminar are these inquiry learning projects, like we said before, that are based on the spheres of unlimited learning. And we saw the sample of those on the next page. But what we're working on now is within each sphere coming up with a set number of learning outcomes. We said we want students to show competency in these areas that they're going to be living and working in. So we're going to develop these learning outcomes, and on the next page that we have, actually it's on the next page, it's on one more, but there are the learning spheres again. This is 25% of the grade, and as long as students are meeting the learning objectives, by the end of the year, they've met all the learning objectives, they will have 100%. So we're suggesting that they try to show mastery of 25% of them within each project, each marking period.
Correct. And that's what's cool too when we talk about it being floating assignment. So, Bobby, who is really, really busy with football season, who isn't able to work on his learning, his inquiry learning projects as much as Sally, who, maybe she's in track and doesn't have anything until the spring.
Right.
She could be working on this more. So Bobby is only graded on what he gets done in the first, second, and third, and fourth marking periods, and the same with Sally, but Sally may have more completed. But then by the end of the fourth marking period is when everyone would have to have all those completed.
Right. And the 25% of the objectives is just a suggestion.
It's just a suggestion.
And this is what they're going to be basically doing with the independent learning projects, inquiry learning projects, excuse me. They're going to, and I'm not going to read to you on the screen. They're right there. These are the things we're asking them to do, but it's customized. They are picking their own questions, what interests them. And the next page has some sample learning objectives that we're talking about. So under the personal sphere, those are some suggestions that we're looking at. These are some things we think students need to be well-rounded, to be healthy in life.
So, for example, the learner will demonstrate personal mental wellness care. Well, what does that mean? Well, I don't know. We can help you figure that out, but we want the student to choose a project that's going to help them. So one thing that we talked about is helping the student find, maybe the student wants to take yoga as a way to manage stress. So maybe if the student says, for the next 6 weeks, I'm going to take yoga, and I'm going to see whether or not yoga is really helping me to balance my stress levels. And they can also then intertwine. You can complete more than one learning objective within these projects. So maybe they tie that into nutrition, or maybe physical fitness. Like maybe the student downloads one of those training for a 5K app.
Right.
And
or
they
look up online how all of the physical fitness is related to disease prevention later in life.
Absolutely.
So I mean, you could knock out 10,
several.
Yeah.
But again, obviously, those 10 learning objectives, the project would be a lot larger. And you could just approach this and say, you know what, I'm just going to focus on analysis of my own personal belief.
Right. And in their research and in their outcomes, then they would have to explain or defend to us how these are met, and we would come to an agreement to say whether or not they were met. And if they didn't meet those, or if we believe or we were in some kind of disagreement, the student can defend it, or they could resubmit it without any penalty. As long as everything's met by the end of the year, it would be 100%.
Absolutely. So again, ILPs are assessed using a standard Academy STEAM rubric, and there is flexibility with that for each learner's customized project. And then we will again work with, the learners. We're going to work with the facilitators. And the other cool thing is we want to get, parents that have careers in the fields that the students are working.
Or other teachers.
Other teachers.
Someone just teaches yoga in the district.
That's perfect. It comes in and they say, you know what, I'm going to be a part of this grading of this student's learning, this learner's project, and that's what we want. We want real world application.
Even our administrators could get involved.
Absolutely, it's crazy the opportunities, and we kind of forget sometimes that principals or lead learning facilitators are also teachers, and you never know, they may even be involved in teaching some coursework here in the near future as well.
It'd be wonderful.
It'd be great. How about that? All right, and the last part of the seminar course, which is the small grading part, is the actual learning that's going to be built into it. And these are some of the texts that we're looking at. And I know that probably students are like, I have to read all those books.
No.
Listen, we're going to be doing a lot of this in school, and these are not difficult texts either. In fact, who moved my cheese you can read in about 45 minutes. But we've tried to choose some texts that will
directly benefit.
Yeah, they're aligned with what we're doing. So the 7 Habits of Teens, Fighting Invisible Tigers, Stress Management, Who Moved My Cheese, talking about change. The Inevitable book, which is exactly where we got this idea for Mass Customized Learning. Our administration presented it to us as a future for Altoona.
This last one I think is exciting.
I'm so excited for that one. Yeah, talking about social media, it's complicated because obviously social media is part of the spheres of learning, unlimited learning spheres, because social media is not going away. In fact, it's going to continue to grow. So we want students to make sure that they are learning the importance
and the responsibility of it,
etiquette, and all of that stuff. Because social media will be a part of the academy.
It is, and our main goal here is to create these well-rounded, innovative thinking, lifelong learners, and all of these books are directly relevant to those things.
Absolutely. All right, so that ends the grading portion of the presentation. That really sums up everything. So we will remind you that under FAQ, there are several questions that people have posed to us already that we have already tried to answer, and hopefully if these don't, we still have questions that we haven't answered and you're not live with us tonight, you can certainly shoot us an email. We'll be glad to add them there. And so again, you can just click right on FAQ, and there's specifics there. There's some other things that you can take a look at. But again, what's important right now is if you are interested in applying for the Academy, tomorrow morning we will be turning this application on. And again, it's not first come, first serve.
Right. So don't panic, it has to be in tomorrow.
It's just by the end of the school day on June 11th is when we will be taking all the applications and sorting through all those. So please make sure that that's on as a deadline.
But take your time and compose thoughtful answers.
Now, the one thing that we just want to make sure that you're aware of, too, there's no save on the application. This application must be completed once you start it.
Okay.
So please make sure that you guys are sitting down, you're ready and doing this together. This is a team project, just like how Mrs. Brown, Ms. Morgan, and Mrs. Cosman and I have all been working together as a team.
Right.
All right, so now we're going to come back on live here, and you get to see our faces again, maybe. Okay, let's see here. Back to camera, I think. Oops. Here. There we are. Okay. So if there are any questions, you can certainly go ahead and pose them now in the white box that's along the side here, and we will be glad to answer those as well. I'm just going to make sure that the chat feature is on and that everything is good. Again, there is a little bit of delay, so we're going to briefly...
Tech guy.
Yeah, be doing all of that as well. Give us just a second here to make sure everything's going on here. All right. We did have some of the text and factually in front of us right now that we're going to be using as part of the Academy. And again, the first one that we've been introduced with, and I know it's backwards, I'm sorry, but it's called Inevitable. It's by Charles Swan and B. McGarvey, and it's a really great read, and I think parents may be just as interested in checking this out. And again, this is available on Amazon and stuff like that. The other one, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens, is extremely important, and we're really excited about being able to work with that one because being proactive and thinking with the end in mind and all those things.
It's a very easy read and good for parents too if you haven't read the adult version. It's a good one.
Yeah, it's a very good read. So, all right. Well, we're just going to hang out here for a couple minutes, like I said. Oh, questions are coming in. Here we go. Great question. Okay, so let's select this one first here. So the question is, how will this work translate into 10th grade?
Well, our plan is that when they, at least by the time they're in 10th grade, that they will have math and English and continue on in the seminar format. And
at minimum.
We're hoping to work next year with the sophomore teachers and work within the district so that this program does continue on. We don't want it to end with us.
Absolutely. And there's also been talk of maybe, just like we do in some of the elementary schools, is even doing a looping program where for the first 2 years is we actually have the same learning facilitators in both 9th and 10th grade. And again, this stuff all still up in the air. But again, at minimum for the incoming freshmen, we're hoping that throughout the rest of their career at the high school, at the high school, that they would be maintaining at least with English and with math. So
because in addition to working with our program, we want to start working with the high school teachers.
Absolutely. Yeah. So
make sure this happens.
So this is not something that we just want to do 1 year and then it's done. That is certainly not one. No. And fortunately, we have the great support, as we said, of the administration to continue building on this program. And the more teachers and the more parents that we talk to, the more that we're hearing that this is a true future learning opportunity. And we want to remind everyone, too, this is not going to eliminate the brick and mortar building. And we think that's very, very far away, even though that there are some districts and some charter schools around the country that are moving in that direction. However, we want to give our students options and opportunity, and that's really the big reason for it. So,
that is what's going on in the real world.
Absolutely.
Everybody has options. Why not in education?
Absolutely. All right, so I hope that answered your question. Nice and quiet here at Panera.
It is nice and quiet.
Some people, I think, are looking at us like, what are they doing?
They were sitting here and then they left because they heard us talking.
We scared them away.
What about the, did you go through every single feature under the Learn about it? Did you go through everything?
We can, actually. You know what wouldn't be a bad idea is while we're waiting for some more questions, we could actually even show the video for a quick second since we have some time here, which is good. We're getting faster at this. How about it?
Yes, we are.
Give us just a second here. So again, under the Learn is just some more information about the Academy and the future of it here. But then this is the video that kind of sums up everything in a brief, a minute and a half to 2 minutes. So we'll play this for you now.
It's the same thing day after day. Schools were created to give you a one-size-fits-all education. Until now. The future of education train has arrived in Altoona, and the conductor is you. By scheduling the AAJHS Freshman Academy, you'll finally have more control of your future. The Academy includes your 9th grade English and Algebra 2 courses, along with the newly created MCL seminar. MCL stands for Mass Customized Learning, which allows you choice in how and when you learn. What makes this Academy special? You can choose to schedule the Academy courses at an academic or at an honors clinic. You can stay a step ahead of your fellow classmates by gaining an extra seminar credit and valuable practical experiences that are unlike any opportunity ever been offered. During seminars, you'll have the freedom to build your knowledge with inquiry learning projects that will satisfy your natural curiosity for the world around you by connecting topics in English and algebra with the real world. In addition to being meaningful to you, these projects serve to empower you to be successful in many different spheres of your life, while integrating themes in science, technology, engineering, the arts, and math. The Internet puts the world at your fingertips, so the Academy encourages you to bring your own technology device. In the Academy, technology integration serves as a guiding light for your learning plan. Since your English and algebra courses operate mostly online, you choose the pace at which you learn the topic. Your learning facilitators, your teachers, will be available during the Academy time to instruct, assist, and enrich your learning. You'll be responsible for meeting certain benchmarks. But your daily learning experience will never be the same. Learn with a small group, job shadow, engineer class projects, receive independent tutoring, complete coursework tasks, or lead a student-sponsored community service event. With customized learning and the AAJHS Freshman Academy, your learning opportunities are endless as you transform into the lifelong learner you are meant to be. Each day is your day. Each day is your future. Where will your education train take you?
Alright, so, also...
Aren't we clever with
yeah, we are
train
clever.
and steam
yeah, it's
and
amazing.
bridge?
It's like insane. I'm proud of it. Every parent who is part of, whose student is scheduled Honors Algebra 2 next year, or Honors English 9, or a combination of the both of them, should have received a copy of the flyer that we have available on here. Feel free to share those with everyone as well, and to continue asking questions, because we're looking for questions. We want to continue building this. We don't want to go into this blindly. So that's
we
why
started by just trying to think of all of the issues or questions that might come up. That's where our frequently asked questions started from. But then as parents and other teachers and administration were learning about it, then we started adding more to it.
Now, the one thing that we just want to remind you is we decided that for the pilot program that we are just offering it to students in honors. And again, the real reason that the courses are in honors, it's this, I think, because the Academy, because we're bridging the the rigor and the pace at which they're working. So these types of questions can be answered. So when you see the opportunity for academic, we did build this with the flexibility in the future to be able to extend this to all types of learners of all different academic levels.
Just there's so many limitations because it's our first year, it's our pilot program.
All right, so let's come back to us here. So we were just sitting here talking, realizing that, well, probably not nearly as many people watching us this evening for the reason that we had the 8th grade award ceremony tonight, so they're probably all over there at Sweet Frog. So if you're watching us from Sweet Frog, well, you can come over and say hello.
Say hi.
We'll be
questions in person.
We're getting really good at this live stuff, but I think it's really cool too that, and that's why we chose to come to Panera, because the classroom is mobile. It should be mobile, and that's what we're trying to show. Portable and mobile. Well, it's coming up to 8:15, and we're going to, as we see the video starting to catch up here, we're going to hang out here for just maybe another minute longer if there are any other questions. And again, don't be afraid to shoot questions to us via email. We'll be glad to get back to them. Or you are more than welcome to join us tomorrow evening, Wednesday, June 4th, at the Altoona Junior High School. You can use the arts wing door to come into the building or the band room doors to come in. They'll be open around 5:45. Meeting will start promptly at 6, and we hope to have everyone out of there, within 45 minutes, depending on questions.
Right, and then just a side note for the Honors Algebra 2 students, there was an additional letter in the mailing that was sent home, and I think I spoke to anybody else we missed, about the summer review component. And that summer review component is very important, traditional or academy, doesn't matter where you're at. It really allows the time for us to get to the Algebra 2 curriculum.
Absolutely.
So you can bypass all the review material by participating in that summer review. And there's so many supports there on the website to help you, and I, of course, will be checking email and things like that to help students over the summer if they have any questions. But that is essential. And then when they start the curriculum next year, they'll just be further ahead and be able to get through more material.
And the nice part is, especially too with the curriculums that we're looking at, the kids have the opportunity to test out of certain topics that they're already advanced in. Why do we continue to reteach stuff that the kids already know and that they're showing us that they know?
Every year we do the same thing, and and it's about students learners taking responsibility for their knowledge. And so it's not meant to have students working all summer. It's meant to have them stay fresh on their skills so that when they come back, they'll just be further ahead.
And again, the other thing that I keep trying to stress to the kids is that, yes, this is work.
But it's relevant and meaningful.
It's good work.
It's relevant
good work.
and meaningful
It's really good work, and we think that they're going to be even more motivated to want to participate in the academy when they actually see it happen. So we're hoping that everyone at least applies that has some sort of interest. We're hoping that if you're a learner right now, share this video with your folks, invite them to come in. Parents, please help us to be involved in this. If you have ideas, questions, or comments, please feel free to ask those as well. So we want to thank you very much for the opportunity to speak with you today. We're going to be signing off here, and again, if there are any other questions, you can certainly feel free to forward those off to our email. And again, we will be seeing everyone tomorrow at 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
All right, guys, thank you so much. Have a good evening. Reporting live from Panera Academy Facilitators. Have a good night.
Bye.
And now I just forget how to turn it off. Huh? Oh, there it is. And see you soon.